अस्सलाम वालेकुम, सत श्री अकाल ते नमस्कार। जिस तरह कि ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਟੀਵੀ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ program ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ mind and body. Mind is related to the mental activities like any stress or anxiety, or we are talking about soul or God or whatever it is about the ethics. At the same time we are discussing the health issues. Every time different doctors are with me, and they are licensed either in Canada or in America. They are well qualified doctors, and they discuss each and every issue, and we give the opportunity even to the public on the radio to ask the question, and they try to explain. So today, but we change the topic because now you know that in Ontario there is a election time, election season. Municipal elections are going to be held next month in October. So I personally feel that instead of to talk all the time about health, let's talk about the municipal politics. So before that, I was discussing with Raj Chopra. She's contesting the school trustee board from Mississauga. But now I have a very experienced, learned, humble human being, reasonable. You call with any good quality. He has all the good quality. He's a hard worker. He has a good muscles and everything. You go in the gym, you will find him there to do exercise. You go to farm, he's doing repni and all those things. You saw in the mall, he's talking with the people. He doesn't care that he's busy. He will always listen to you, any problem, and he try to solve it. I know him for the last at least 18 to 19 years, but he is counselor, then regional counselor for the last 30 years. So I just want, it's my honor to welcome him. Mr. John Sprovieri, you are welcome in the show, please.
Thank you, Dr. Ravi. I'm very happy, and I'm so grateful that you have invited me to your program, just to reach out to the constituents in Brampton. And I thank you very much for the opportunity.
Right. As I mentioned before, that you were the counselor in the Brampton city, right? How many years you were the counselor, and then you change your mind and become the regional counselor? So I just want to know that how many years you were the counselor, and total in the municipality, how many years you were helping the community in the municipality?
In total, it's 30 years.
30 years.
Ending this October, November actually. Yes. It'll be 30 years. I first ran for office in 1988. Mm-hmm. And back then, the title was alderman. Mm-hmm. And then for 15 years, I served as a city councilor. And then when the area, Springdale and Castlemore Go Road, became very large, and there was a lot of development happening also in Heart Lake, and the area got divided and formed two regional councilors, and I ran for the regional position. And I was successful, and for the last 15 years I've been serving both as a city councilor and as a regional councilor at the same time. You should also know that I also worked for 36 years at Ford Motor Company. Mm-hmm. In Brampton. Actually it's Bramalea, but now it's Brampton. And for 12 years I was doing both city and Ford Motor. So I was having two responsibilities at the same time for 12 years. And here we are today after 30 years. The Lord has given me good health. As you said, I'm always mindful of health and how important it is to live a healthy life, not only from a physical point of view, but also from a spiritual point of view. And yesterday was my 73rd birthday. Mm-hmm. And many people say, we don't look 73, maybe you look like in your 50s. And they ask me, how do you keep yourself so in good form? And I told them that there's three very important elements. Mm-hmm. First, for all, you must remember that there's a greater power above us, and recognize that to be humble and not to have an ego, because our Creator has control of everything, and so we must be mindful of that. Secondly, we must always must have a clear conscience and not have any thing on our minds that will damage our being. So have a clear conscience. Do not do anything that will compromise your inner self. And thirdly, is the most also very important, is to eat healthy, exercise, stay active, and I believe these three elements will give good life and healthy life to people.
Okay, Mr. John, as you mentioned it, the good features of the good quality, that how you can maintain your health with a different way out, but that's the only reason that you are 7'3", correct?
Yes.
But it can, you look like 3'7", right? So the reason is that you are working hard inside, your conscience is clear, you always meditate, you always go to church and try to help the people. I think that is the basic idea. Then when you feel that not only outside but inside you feel more energy, and that is the God's grace, you know that thing. And that is why the people all the time, you are getting it, so many competitors are there. 30 years is a long time, people are fed up. Even we can eat at home one vegetable and maybe within a week we fed up that, same thing. So, but you are a counselor for the last 30 years, because of you have the qualities. That's why the people every time they feel happily to send you back in the municipality. So now my question is that you are a counselor, then you are a regional counselor, then why you change your mind to become a mayor? You want some promotion or something? What is exactly why you contest the mayor election?
No, actually, I had never an interest in being a mayor. Actually, my Italian friends tell me that there's an Italian saying in Italy that says, better to be a fool than to be a mayor. Mm-hmm. And I think that I understand what that means, because being a mayor is no easy task. It's a very high responsibility, serious responsibility, and a person has to really work hard in order to do the job properly, and not many people want to do that, and now the reason I'm running, and as you know, I was planning to retire 8 years ago, mm-hmm. and then I decided to run once more on an issue that it's been very dear to my heart, and it's on water fluoridation. As we know, Peel region still adds this chemical in our water, fluoride, that's supposed to keep our teeth healthy. But there's been a lot of scientific research that actually this fluoride is showing that they actually can do harm to some people. And the most distinguished doctor I've met, it was from India, Dr. Sushila. Mm-hmm. She's from Delhi, mm-hmm. and she came here 2 years ago to speak about fluoridation. And this doctor actually addressed the British Parliament in the 80s when they were deciding to make water fluoridation mandatory. And Dr. Sushila convinced the Parliament of Britain not to add this to the water. And so she came here to Brampton and Mississauga, to Peel region, and to speak to the committee, not to put this chemical in our water, because even though it may help the teeth to stay better, but it can cause a lot of other damage to our bodies. And so that was the reason I ran last time, is to champion this issue and try to stop fluoridation in Peel region. Now, you should know that all of Europe stopped this practice many, many years ago because of health concerns. And 70% of Canada has stopped using this chemical in our water because of health concerns. 30% of the US also has stopped fluoridation, because when people learn about the scientific research that's happening today, that this is not a good thing to do. And so I've been trying to convince my colleagues to end fluoridation. I have not been successful. Unfortunately, it's a council decision, and I have not been able to convince the majority of council that this is not a good practice. Now, the other issue why I'm running for mayor is because I care for I've been a resident of Brampton for 45 years. Mm-hmm. And my family lives in Brampton, my friends live in Brampton, and I care for my city, I care for the people, I care for the people who I've represented. And I have not been very impressed with the performance of our present mayor for the last 4 years. And you know that Our former mayor was not a good choice either, and the people sent her away. And we brought in this new mayor that had great expectations, that she had many connections to the province, to the premier, to the government of the province, and that she would fix a lot of Brampton's problems. And we have a lot of problems in Brampton. As you know, we have the hospital in Brampton has the worst care anywhere in Ontario. We have the least number of beds per capita, and we have the longest waiting time for emergency. And we felt that our mayor, having connection to the province, that she would fix that and bring more beds, maybe a new hospital, but that has not happened. And we also have this high car insurance in Brampton. It's a big problem where Brampton residents are complaining that why are we paying higher, almost double the rates than everybody else in, around the GTA. And that's a provincial responsibility. And we felt that our mayor, having connection to the premier, coming from the province, could have fixed that.
Yes.
And then we have the regional representation. Brampton is very low in representation. We're almost the same size as Mississauga. We have half the representation Mississauga has. We felt that's also provincial responsibility. We felt that our mayor could have convinced the province to fix that problem, and that has not happened. We have the gun violence problem in the GTA, mainly Mississauga, Brampton, Toronto, and Scarborough, where these shootings have become out of control. And that's a huge, huge concern. Actually, tomorrow night we're having a meeting at the Springdale Library with the community where there was a shooting there 3 weeks ago, right on Desert Sands.
Right.
And people are very concerned about the safety of their children, themselves. And so, and that's another huge problem. And we know that recently, back in the beginning of this year, the province enacted legislation to stop the police from doing car checks. Before, the police, if they saw a suspicious vehicle, a suspicious person is sitting around in a neighborhood, watching homes, maybe to try to break into the homes, they could go and check who they were, where they come from, what are they doing here. Now, with the new legislation, the police have no more ability to check these suspicious people. And the reason is because the province enacted legislation that our mayor and Mississauga mayor were key to get the province to enact this new legislation to stop street checks and carding. I don't agree with carding, but I think street checks was a good tool that the police had to at least give these criminals some concern that they may be checked and found either with drugs or with the guns in their cars. The police don't have that ability anymore. Last year, the police told us that they did 30,000 street checks in Peel region. This year, in July, they told us they only had done 2. So now these criminals, they feel they have a free hand. They can run around and with their guns, with their drugs, and they don't have to worry about the police stopping them anymore.
Okay, so ਪਿਆਰੇ ਸਰੋਤਿਓ, ਅਸੀਂ ਜੌਨ ਸਪਰੋਵੇਰੀ ਨਾਲ ਹੁਣ ਡਿਟੇਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਮੇਅਰ ਦੇ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਕਿਉਂ ਲੜਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਕੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਸ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਨੂੰ ਸੈੱਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਹੱਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਬੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਦੱਸਣੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਹੀ ਹੈਜ਼ lots of experience. Right, so ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਦੱਸਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ। ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ if he is sleeping, you can ask any city pro issue, so right away he will tell you what the problem is. He is so intelligent. Not only that intelligent, he has lots of experience, so we can take more advantages। ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਟਰੀਟ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮਸ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਡਰੱਗਸ ਦੀ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਨੇ, ਐਕਸੀਡੈਂਟ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਨੇ, ਤੇ ਪਿਸਟਲਸ ਆਮ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਗਈਆਂ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ CP20 ਦੇਖ ਲਓ, ਰੋਜ਼ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ, ਜੇ ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ ਦੀ ਖਬਰ ਹੋਊਗੀ ਤਾਂ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਵੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਖੁੰਝੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੱਗੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆਹ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਹੁਣ ਡਿਟੇਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਐਕਸਪਲੇਨ ਟੂ ਅਸ। ਸੋ ਡੋਂਟ ਗੋ ਅਵੇ, ਵੀ ਵਿਲ ਬੀ ਕਮਿੰਗ ਬੈਕ ਸੂਨ, ਜਸਟ ਫॉर ਅ ਸਮਾਲ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ। ਡੋਂਟ ਗੋ ਅਵੇ। Welcome back. So, as you know that we are discussing about the Brampton municipal election, and in this election, which is going to be held next month in October, and for the post of mayor, there are so many candidates. They are contesting for the mayor election, and one of them, which has lots of experience as a councillor and regional councillor, rather I can make it more clear that he has a 30 years, 30. That long experience as a councillor and regional councillor, and now he has decided to contest the election of mayor. So Mr. John, welcome back again. So can you please tell me that although you are 30 years experience in the Brampton municipal, but can you tell me only for the last session, like last 4 years, what is your achievement in Ward 9 and 10?
Well, Dr. Ravi, it's not easy to achieve much on council, because there's always competition between councillors in getting things done in their respective wards. But I've been so I think I've been so successful in bringing some of the best facilities in Brampton to Ward 9 to 10. As you know, we brought the soccer center, we brought the library in Springdale, we brought the Gore Meadows Community Center and library. But most of all, the things I've been really most achieved was to have what we call unwarranted stop signs and traffic lights installed on our streets to improve safety. Whenever people, everybody's concerned in the residential areas about cars speeding and the safety of the children, and people want solutions. Now, one of the most effective solution, of course, is to put always stops in the intersections, so people have to stop and slow down, and otherwise people just, everybody's in a hurry. Mm-hmm. Everybody has to get home to cook the dinner. Everybody has to get to work and on time. And so unfortunately, our life has become so busy and so hectic that everybody's rushing and people speed. And the problem is that this is causing a safety problem in our neighborhoods, and people are very concerned. So I was successful in having these unwarranted stop signs and traffic lights installed. Whenever the community asked for, we have the means of providing these stop signs, especially stop signs. And previously, it was always a battle to go to court and challenge the engineers, the traffic engineers, to say, put an always stop here because the people want it. And they would come back and say, well, we did the traffic studies and there's only 10% of the people speed, so it doesn't really justify an always stop. And but the people wanted, the neighborhood wanted it, so we forced the matter at council to say, whenever the people want it, we provide it. So that was a great achievement for safety in our streets. Also, I've been pushing very much so to put advanced green on the intersections. A lot of people take chances to make left turns. When the light changes yellow, people try to turn, but then there's other cars coming trying to beat the lights, and right. So bang, accidents happen.
That happens.
So now you put advanced green so people can turn safely, and that's been one of my issues that I've been really focusing on to improve road safety. And one of the biggest problem is causing the insurance high rates is
because of accidents.
Too many accidents are happening in Brampton, and unfortunately some are very serious, and so we need to do more to make our city intersections safer. One idea I picked up from India when I went to India is that they have these large signs showing how much time you have to before the light changes. I saw that in India, and I want to, if I become the mayor, I tried to get our staff to introduce this, but they said, well, nobody else does it in Canada, but that's not a good enough reason. If I become the mayor, I want to push this to implement that idea here in Brampton. I think it's going to really prevent a lot of accidents.
So, प्यारे श्रोतियों, जिस तरह के जॉन ने दस्या भी इन्हों ने इंडिया के उत्तों एक आइडिया लिया, तुहानूं पता भी उत्थे इंडिया 'च तां ट्रैफिक ही बहुत ज़्यादा है, पब्लिक ही इन्नी ज़्यादा ਸੋ ਉੱਥੇ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਰੈੱਡ ਲਾਈਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਲਗਾਈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਨੂੰ ਸੋਲਵ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਲਾਈਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨੰਬਰ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ 20, 19, 18, 17, 16 ਐਟਲੀਸਟ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਕ੍ਰਾਸ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਹੁਣ ਸਾਡਾ ਇੱਕ ਨੰਬਰ ਤੇ 0 ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਤੇ ਫਟਾਫਟ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਟਾਪ ਕਰ ਲਓ। ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਈਡੀਆ ਹੈ ਜੌਨ ਹੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਮਿਸ ਕਿ ਇਫ ਹੀ ਬਿਕਮ ਮੇਅਰ ਸੋ ਸਾਰੇ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹੀ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਨੰਬਰਿੰਗ so that we can save the accidents because when there is an accident you can't stop it then although it's a bad thing but the thing is when the accident is there the insurance goes automatically up. So if we can drive carefully then automatically there will be less accident and the insurance will be little bit down. So Mr. John, can you tell me something about it that there are so many candidates for the mayor candidate election, so why people of Brampton choose you? What are your special qualities that instead of to go to stamp the other people, why they can stamp to you in favor of Mr. John Sprovieri?
Well, Dr. Ravi, I don't want to blow my own horn, but what can I bring to the mayor's chair? Number one is honesty. I have 30 years of proven honesty.
That's right.
And that is that is a quality that's very hard to come by these days in politicians. I'll tell you a story. My neighbor, they were Catholics, and my neighbors, we go to the same church, and the priest, Carmen is very outspoken and he has a lot to say, and the priest said to him, Carmen, you need to come to confession. And so Carmen said, why do I need to come to confession? It's because I said, you are always angry and you always speak up. And he says, so Carmen says, he says, when was the last time you go into confession? He says, I think when I got married, which is probably 40, 50 years ago. And the priest said, well, you must come to confession. So Carmen said, Father, I'll tell you what, you let me ask the questions and you answer the questions. And so the priest said, well, that's inappropriate. He says, so why do you say that? He says, well, you know why? It's because Carmen said to the priest, Father, common people like us, if I did a serious crime, I would not come and tell you because maybe you'll tell the police and then I go to jail. So I would not tell you. But to me, who are the biggest sinners? He said, number one, are priests, lawyers, and business people, and who else? He said, that's where you find the most sinful people, because these are the people that tend to take advantage sometimes. So anyway, I can honestly say that I can bring honesty to the table of the chair, and also my experience in dealing with issues. I remember one of the first things I resolved years ago when I first became a counselor, where the area was mostly countryside, and people from the city, the town, would bring their garbage and dump it in the ditches in the country roads. And every week, the city employees had to go and pick it up from the ditches, put it in a truck, and take it to the dump in Britannia. So I said to our works department let's put some bins for the people on Chrysler Drive if they have garbage, if they have waste, construction, old fridges, mattresses, TVs, whatever they have, used oil. People used to dump the oil down the drain from cars. People would change. Let's put some bins in the works yard on Chrysler Drive and advertise it that if you have garbage, just go dump it there for free, no charge, and then we solve the problem. So that was how that recycling depot started on Chrysler Drive, and now it's a very large place where you can bring old tires, metals, furniture, appliances, chemicals, everything. And there's very little dumping in the country roads now.
So ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਦੇਖੋ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਇੱਕ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਆ ਗਈ ਵੀ he is intelligent if he is not intelligent, then this problem, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਐਕਸਪਲੇਨ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੋਸਟਲੀ ਲੋਕ ਜਦੋਂ ਇੰਨੀ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਐਸਟੈਬਲਿਸ਼ਮੈਂਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗੀ, ਕੰਟਰੀ ਸਾਈਡ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਖੇਤ ਹੀ ਖੇਤ ਪਏ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਗਾਰਬੇਜ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਬੈਗ, ਉਹ ਕਿਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਿੱਟ ਸਕਦੇ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਖੇਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਡੰਪ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ, ਈਵਨ ਆਇਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਡੰਪ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੈਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ, ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੈਮਰੇ ਲਗਾਉਂਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਸਿਟੀ ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਖਰਚਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ। ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਜੌਨ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਆਈਡੀਆ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਸਲਰਸ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਰੋਡ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੀ ਬ੍ਰੈਮਲੀ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ, ਬ੍ਰੈਮਲੀ ਬਿਟਵੀਨ 에ਅਰਪੋਰਟ ਐਂਡ ਟੌਰਬਰਮ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਸਿਟੀ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਡਰਮ ਰੱਖਤੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਡਰਮ ਰੱਖ ਦਿਓ, ਇੰਸਟੈਡ ਆਫ ਉਹ ਚੋਰੀ ਛਿਪ ਕੇ ਐਡੀ ਦੂਰ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਡੰਪ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ, ਵਾਈ ਸ਼ੁਡ ਨਾਟ ਦੇ ਡੂ ਡੰਪ ਇਟ ਇਨ ਦਾ ਦੈਟ ਗਾਰਬੇਜ ਕੈਨ। ਸੋ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੀ ਹੋਗਾ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਇੰਪਲਾਈਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਖਰਚਾ ਘੱਟ ਜਾਏਗਾ, ਦੂਸਰਾ ਉਹ ਓਨੈਸਟੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਾਣਗੇ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਸਾਈਡ ਤੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਉਹ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਸਲਰ ਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਕਰਨਗੇ। ਦੈਟ ਇਜ਼ ਦਾ ਆਈਡੀਆ, ਦੈਟ ਇਜ਼ ਕਾਲਡ ਇੰਟੈਲੈਕਟ, ਦੈਟ ਇਜ਼ ਕਾਲਡ ਇੰਟੈਲੀਜੈਂਸੀਆ। ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਗੱਲ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ, ਇੱਥੋਂ ਹੀ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਇਹ ਮੇਅਰ ਬਣ ਗਏ ਤਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲੇ ਬ੍ਰੇਨ ਹੈਗਾ, कि एक्सपीरियंस हैगा, कि एक्सपीरियंस भी है एंड ही हैज़ ए ब्रेन टू एंड he is bold too. Sometimes the people, they have the brain, they are honest, but they are not bold, they can't take that decision. But he has all these qualities. He is a bold man. He doesn't care whether on the one side it's a 20 people. If he feels that this is right, he always take their side. And the second thing, he is intelligent. He gave the example here, and moreover he is honest. Nobody, everybody reads the newspaper. किसी ने भी आज तक पिन पॉइंट नहीं किया होगा कि मिस्टर जॉन ने बिल्डर तो पैसे खा ले या कुछ और खा ले या इस तरह खा ले। He is very honest. ਉਹਦੀ honesty ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ he lives on countryside and McBean ਉਹੀ ਪੁਰਾਣਾ ਮਕਾਨ ਹੈ, ਉਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੀ ਹੈ, ਉਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੀ ਖੇਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ he is doing, he is not changing anything. Even he has same simple shoes, dress, everything, simple life. So it shows that for the last ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕ 5-7 ਸਾਲ ਵੀ ਪੋਲਿਟਿਕਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਲਓ ਵੀ they get a brand new expensive cars, big houses, but he is a very simple person. It shows that his integrity and honesty. So Mr. John, I have to ask you another question, that although our we have a mayor, she has a good experience and now she is contesting again, and Mr. Brown Patrick, he is also contesting an election, and then Mr. Bal Gosal, he was our federal minister. They have the experiences too, right? But you have your own background with authenticity. So can you tell that why the people, they will give you the preference?
Dr. Ravi, I think it's important to check people's achievements and look at what has our mayor achieved, whether she was at the province or while she's been mayor for the last 4 years. What has been her achievement? Probably one achievement she claims was to bring the university to Brampton. Now, to me, it is true that through the initiative of her choosing Bill Davis to be the chair of the Blue Ribbon Task Force, the province has approved a small university for 2,000 students, and it's located on the train tracks in the GO station in downtown Brampton. To me, that was a huge insult that the province gave us a university for 2,000 students when we have 650,000 people going to 950,000 people in the next 15-20 years. Milton, who has the population of only 120,000, got the same thing. They got $90 million and they got 2,000 students. And we are 5 times the size, and we get, that to me was a huge insult. Also, I don't agree with putting the university on the train tracks. Students, they want to have a nice environment when they're in university. They want to be around green areas. They want to have walkways. They want to sit around where they can clear their minds, where they can think, where they can. Being on the train tracks, it's not an ideal environmental location to me. Now, what really offended me is that the Milton mayor demanded that they choose a site, and they did choose a site. The province backed down, and they let them choose their site, a beautiful site. Our mayor in Brampton did not fight for Brampton. They allowed the province to choose the site, and they chose the site on the parking lot. To me, if I become the mayor, the first thing I will do is try to change that. We have two very good locations downtown Brampton. We have the Flower City campus, where it's 80 acres, a beautiful green space. And we have also the park, Rosalie Park, near the YMCA, that is a beautiful location, green space, walkways along the creek, where it would be just an ideal environment for students. If I become the mayor, I want to try to get one of those two locations changed to those two locations. And so this big achievement the mayor claims, I'm not very impressed with, and are many people. So as far as the other people, you have to look at what has Patrick Brown achieved.
Okay, Mr. John, because the time won't allow us to speak more. I know that you have lots of material to speak on it. So I feel sorry because that we are a little bit bound with the time, and the time won't allow us. And the producer, they show me, that we should have to finish. But anyway, thank you very much, and we wish you all the best that you become the mayor of Brampton. And if it is, then we are expecting that the university, which is a long demand for the Bramptonian, you will provide them the good space so that they can enjoy over there. I know my experience that for the last 20 to 30 years when I spent in India, and I was a professor there too. So if it is an open space, the students can enjoy more better instead of to go in the, this thing. The idea you gave for the good space for the university, I hope when you become the mayor, our future student will enjoy in the spacious field. So again, ਪਿਆਰੇ ਸਰੋਤਿਓ, ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਅੱਜ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਖਤਮ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਆਗਿਆ ਲੈ ਰਿਹਾ, ਤੇ ਅੰਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਵੀਕ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੰਟੈਸਟੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਵਾਂਗੇ, ਤੇ ਤਦ ਤੱਕ ਲਈ ਰੱਬ ਰਾਖਾ, ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਗਲਤੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਮਾਫੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸੋ ਅਖੀਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਵੈਰੀ ਮਚ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਜੌਨ ਅਗੇਨ, ਐਂਡ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਟੂ ਐਵਰੀਬਾਡੀ।